everybody out there. It's been one hell of a week for me. Some of you know my dad's been in the hospital, having trouble breathing. He's finally home, finally feeling better, so now I can focus on this, get episode number 4 out to you loyal people who have been with me since day 1. So with that, I'm gonna reveal what today's topic is. Since it's the 4th show, I wanted this episode to be a little extra special, so why not pick tattoo trends that artists hate? And why? Now in my search, I have found quite a few trends from the past and currently in circulation today that tattoo artists are not quite very fond of. Some of these are obvious as to why they would be hated. Others are not so much. So we'll see what goes on here. I was able to put together a little list of 29. 29. You heard me right, folks. 29 different tattoo trends that are not quite appreciated anymore, I guess you could say. I guess. I don't know for sure. But here we go with the list. You just made the list. For all my wrestling fans out there, you know who you are. Number 1 on this list is the tramp stamp. Huh. If you were an adult woman in the late 90s, you would have a tramp stamp. Maybe you got it on spring break, maybe you didn't, but we know it's there. And we're willing to bet your friends have matching ink on their lower back too. So, this was not really liked across the board, really, because it's one that every woman went to go get done as soon as they were old enough in the 90s. It's this, it's that, it's this. So, if you have one, great, good for you. Number 2, this was last week's tattoo trend fail. Tribal tattoos. Another one that was a rage in the 90s. Technically, they've been popular for over 2,000 years when the Samoan tribes began to tattoo each other to demonstrate the strong ties they felt to their culture. But in the 90s, white people went a little crazy. Just a little crazy with that, and yeah. If you're as white as me and you were a frat boy, what tribe did you belong to again? Do you wanna fill me in on that? Come on. Number 3, navy swallows. Originally, the swallow tattoo showed that a sailor had traveled over 5,000 nautical miles, and the second swallow meant that a sailor traveled 10,000 miles. But now, the swallow tattoo usually signifies that someone owns the entire New Found Glory discography. Just saying, it's a common first tattoo to go with because it's a very cool design. I wanted one myself, but of course I did my research on it. Episode 2. Remember, folks, did my research, found the actual meaning behind the swallows, and it's like, well, I have not gone over 5,000 miles on the ocean. I hate being on the ocean, but I love being in the water. I'm weird. I know. I'm weird. I get it. I completely get it. I'm weird. I'm okay with that. Just so that you people know. Number 4, portraits, which, as you'll see on the bottom there, little scrolling feature we have with this week's video, that is the tattooed celebrity of the week, Miss Ruby Rose. You can catch her on Orange is the New Black, as well as Instagram. I believe she's still on Twitter as well. I have not found her yet, but I'm still looking. Also, it's the tattoo win for this week. Last week was a tattoo fail. And now, for this week's tattoo trend. Worst tattoo trend. Portraits. And I'm just seeing how badly butchered Freddie Mercury's face is. This is why you should never get a portrait done, in my opinion. I mean, unless you are absolutely sure that your artist is top notch with getting a human face right, you really shouldn't be getting it done. I mean, they in my research they quoted it as, what's the best way to memorialize someone that after they've passed? By putting their face into your skin. This has been a big trend since the 80s, and it really doesn't show signs of stopping, though I really wish it would. It kind of needs to just die out. It needs to just go away. Alright, tattoo trend number 5. A bracelet or an anklet. These were very cool things to get from the 80s and early 90s. If you're a Stevie Nicks fan, you had one, or you have one today. And for those of you who don't know who Stevie Nicks is, go look up Landslide on YouTube. That is Stevie Nicks. Okay. Yes, it's an easy tattoo to get, but it's not really that imaginative, honestly. Alright, this is another one. This tattoo trend is... Why would you go to the lengths of getting this kind of artwork done just so you could wear a shirt to cover it at all times? I mean, come on. Number 6, wings on the back. Why? Why? We know that most of these women who get the angel wings on their back, you're far from an angel. First of all, and we know the guys who do it are the ones that go with the bat wings on the back. We kind of know that, no, it's not you, you just did it to get a tattoo. Don't. I myself did think of getting either one bat wing on my shoulder, as the small little thing as it is, but I decided against it. I just have my actual full little bat right there. That's it. I'm happy. Now this tattoo, this one, number 7. If you love Pamela Anderson, you went and tried to show that love by getting a barbed wire tattoo. Barbed wire. Tough. By getting fake barbed wire on your arm? Really? That really doesn't impress me. Even when it showed up in the late 80s to early 90s, it didn't scare me. and I was born in the late 80s. I was born in 1986. Okay, folks? I was born in 86. And people were still getting barbed wire by 95. It didn't scare me. Which was the intention behind these guys getting it done. And it was mostly guys in motorcycle gangs getting the barbed wire tattoo. Maybe I should have been doing this from the womb, so this way you guys would have known. Do your research first. Number 8. Now, being somebody who has actually traced the bloodline back to Native American tribes, I do want to get a Dreamcatcher tattoo eventually in my life, but number 8 is Dreamcatchers. Now, they were popular among art students who want to feel a connection to the American Southwest. However, for me, it would actually be a connection to my ancestors. So, I think that's what would make it different for me. I mean, yes, I look pale as a ghost, but yeah. Number 9, paw prints. Paw prints are usually tattooed on people who have an animal they love, but is still super dumb and mega lame. Even your dog is embarrassed for you. Now, I would understand, instead of doing the portrait for a dog who you absolutely adored passed on, I would understand just that one single paw print for that dog. But when you have a whole, basically half sleeve of just a bunch of paw prints, it looks messy. It looks messy. I'm sorry to tell you, it just looks messy. Now this one. Number 10. Anchors. Obviously, the anchor began as a way to signify that you were someone who worked on the sea, but now they're a pretty easy way to spot the creepiest guy at your local dive bar. They're everywhere. A lot of times they have meaningful things written with them, like, "You're never gonna hold me down, don't be that anchor," stuff like that. It's just, it's not really the best way to go about it, I guess. But also into the next one here, number 11, long quotes. Why get one word tattooed on your body when you can get 100 or 1,000? Usually long quote tattoos exist because someone wants the rest of the world to know they've read a fancy book, which that's kind of how I feel. Or you got the people with the Bible verses on their rib cage that you can only see when their shirt is off. You didn't quite think that one through, did you, honey? Just saying. Just saying. Alright, number 12, compasses. Originally, the compass tattoo was popular among early sailors and was seen as a way to protect yourself from rough waters. Now that most people with compass tattoos are baristas and not sailors, it's possible that this tattoo's meaning has changed to mean makes a really good latte art. It's kind of sad to see, with going through this list of things, it's kind of sad to see how many of the traditional tattoos had their meanings ruined. Starting with people of my generation, and now even further with the millennials that are following very closely behind my generation. Because there are a lot of really good tattoos in the traditional times when tattoos first got their start that actually had a meaning to them. And now they've just been ruined. And it's kind of sad to see it, honestly. Yeah. Moving on to number 13, we have the traditional stick and poke. Stick and poke tattoos began as a prison yard body art. They are mainly used to show off what gang you are in, but around 2007, stick and pokes made their way to the PBR drinking section, and now you have a way of knowing how to avoid a party. That's right, folks. That's right. These 25, 26, 22-year-olds, they're out there breaking apart a pen and grabbing a needle, not even bothering to sterilize that needle half the time, and just poking in a little tattoo on their own. And then have the audacity to sit there and go to a tattoo parlor when that tattoo gets infected because of using very toxic ink in their skin. They have the audacity to sit there and expect a tattoo studio to help them. At that point, you should be going to a doctor, both a physician and a psychiatrist, because you just might have some issues with wanting to hurt yourself at that point if you're sitting there doing this stick and poke thing at home, which is retarded. Oh wait, I'm sorry, we're not supposed to use that word anymore. It's stupid, because people who do this give actual retards a bad name. Anyway, now this next one, I have seen personally myself so many times that even I'm sick of it. It's bad, people. It's really, really bad, especially when you're in that punk rock or that hard rock or that heavy metal scene a lot, like I kinda am. Number 14, the Misfits skull. Why are so many of you getting it tattooed? Yes, they are the iconic punk rock band for our generation. But why? Why would you have a band's logo tattooed on your body? I'll wait until you have a good reason. Really? This is another one that is around all the time now, and it's like, no, it's kind of done now. Yes, they're pretty, but you can move on. Number 15, peacock feathers. The peacock feather tattoos are the tramp stamps of the millennial generation. Girls everywhere love them because they're colorful and they're bohemian. Too bad they're also totally unoriginal. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say I don't have some unoriginal ones on my body. I mean, these are done off of Flash, but most of my tattoos are my own thoughts. Okay, nobody else is going to have a Nightmare Before Christmas sleeve done up exactly like mine. So, alright, number 16. the Black Flag bars. I haven't seen too many of these, but they don't make sense to me. To me, they don't make sense. So, why have it tattooed on you? Because, again, it goes with the Misfits thing. It's a band logo. Why? Why? Number 17. Now, reading the description for this one, at the very end of it, just kind of went, ooh. Ooh, somebody's going to need some ice for that burn. The bows on the thighs. Bow tattoos started showing up everywhere during a retro pinup explosion of the early 2000s. They show off a taste of femininity while still being a monument to pain. And the article went on to the end to say, also, they're very tacky. I don't find them tacky. That's me. This is my opinion. This is another one of the tattoo trends that I don't know why it's so hated. But some artists don't like doing them, so. This is one that this is one I've seen a lot, and it's like, okay, that's enough of that one. Number 18, skylines into heartbeats. Why? I mean, I've seen tattoos where it's actually the sound bite wave bars of a person saying, I love you. That I understand. Especially if it's something that, you know, is the last sound from a person who passed away. I mean, I wish I could have had something like that for my mom. But unfortunately, she passed before I could get a recording of her voice. They say in the article that these tattoos are basically a t-shirt you could buy at Hot Topic, which I agree with. I agree with it. It's a nice idea, but it's already on a t-shirt. Something like that, come on now. It's not worth it to go through that amount of pain just to get a t-shirt that has the same thing. Just saying. Now, number 19. This is another one that I don't understand why it's hated. And there's not really much to the description of why it's hated. Number 19 is owls. Owl tattoos began to pop up everywhere in the early 2000s. It was sort of a way to get back to nature without having to actually do anything. But my grandmother loved owls, and she's been dead 10 years now, so for me to have an owl tattoo would be a tribute to her. So this is why it doesn't make sense to me as to why it's not a well-liked tattoo. I mean, I get it. There are some people out there from my generation that are just going to go into their tattoo studios and going, I want a snowy owl because I'm a Harry Potter fan. I get it. That I get. But when it's an owl that actually has a meaning behind it. And number 20, arrows. Now, the meaning behind the arrow tattoo is life pulls you back, you spring ahead. That's supposed to be the meaning behind the arrows. However, when Sarah Hyland of Modern Family got three tiny arrows tattooed by her best friend, with her best friend. The trend kind of took off, so it's now kind of lost its meaning. The arrow has now lost its meaning because, oh, a celebrity did it? Okay, I need to do it too. We're becoming a very pathetic society. I just have to say. 21. This trend. Again, white people, you need to stop. You need to stop. 21. Chinese symbols. So unless you are an expert at reading these symbols and writing these symbols out, there's no way of knowing that you're getting done exactly what you want done. There have been plenty of pictures through my Google image search for tattoo fails of Chinese symbols that were supposed to mean courage, bravery, strength, and ended up meaning chicken soup. Slippery, or box. Stupid shit like that. So, again, white people, stop with the Chinese symbols. You have no clue what they mean. They do not belong on your body. So stop. Stop it. Number 22. Sugar skulls. Now again, being somebody who has traced her bloodline, I do have some Mexican in me as well as some Native American. So a sugar skull for me would make sense as long as people understood that I actually am part Mexican. However, there are other white people out there just getting this done because, oh, it looks so cool. No. The meaning behind the sugar skull is the memorial of somebody who has passed on. It is to commemorate that family member. That is the importance behind the sugar skull. That's why you always see the sugar skulls around the Day of the Dead, which is the Mexican ceremony for the dead people that they have lost throughout the year. Okay? That's the reasoning behind the sugar skull. So again, me being part Mexican and actually knowing to do my research, I have to see that something I wanted done is on a list that artists hate doing. Thank you for ruining it for me. Thank you. Number 23. We're coming close to the end here, folks, so keep paying attention. Number 23. Foot tattoos. They've been going on since the 80s, but they slip out, and then they come back in, and then they go out again. There are certain things that people get done on their feet that are considered the trend for the tattoo on the foot. It's a hard area to not get infected because of the fact that it's your feet. Just saying. I mean, I do want a tattoo on my foot because I think I have ugly feet. So I think the tattoo will pretty it up a little bit. Plus I wear a lot of flat shoes that have the opening at the top without my socks, so it is what it is. It'll happen one day, I'm sure. Number 24, finger tattoos. They've made a comeback. For from obscurity with and why do you have a mustache tattooed on your finger? Why? You're gonna have to sit there in your 60s and in your 70s and explain to your child and explain to your grandchild why there's a mustache tattooed on the inside of your finger. Let's just sit down and imagine that conversation. Grandma, Grandpa, why do you have a mustache tattooed on the inside of your finger? It's because when we were younger, we would walk around like this and be complete idiots with our friends. Just saying, folks. Just saying. Number 25. Word of wisdom, or words of wisdom. Around 2008 or so, one-word tattoos started showing up everywhere. I mean everywhere. Those are those, I've seen people with just wisdom or just happiness or peace tattooed on them somewhere. It's just like, that was lazy. And if you're gonna sit there and do that, a lot of times what you could do is go through Google and find a symbol that means that one word, and you could go with that. Because I know peace has its own symbol, and it's not just this. Some of you younger people watching this right now just went, what? This is not peace? It's peace. It's one symbol of peace. See, back in the day, it started in the 60s, you know, with the hippies. They had this, and then on top of that, they had this circle with a line down the center and two branches off of that line in the center. That also meant peace and harmony. So you could take that one word tattoo, put it into a symbol. Imagine that. Alright, number 26. Neck or throat tattoos. These, I have one myself over here. It's a painful thing to look at. Seeing other people that have it. I mean, look at The Undertaker. The Undertaker himself has all the way up here and some down in here. And Jeff Hardy even has all over here done up. And it's painful to look at. It's painful just to look at it. So I can only imagine what it is sitting through that, getting that done. That's gotta be a lot of work. I can only imagine what it's like if you don't have a job and you got that done, and as soon as you turned 18, and then having the neck tattoos or the throat tattooed and you're trying to get a job. I don't know, maybe in the future workplaces will be a little bit more accepting. I don't know. They're starting to show more acceptance now, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Number 27. Bird silhouettes. In the early 2000s, bird tattoos became even more popular than Livestrong bracelets. Their meaning is seemingly malleable, but they give off the intense wanting to be free while simultaneously beholden to lame trends, which I agree with. Yes, a bird of any kind. Excuse me for that for a second. A bird of any kind, whether it be the swallow or it be a raven, which could also be, you know, is supposed to symbolize the freedom to travel through life. Hence, with the swallows traveling over the ocean a certain number of miles. A raven would be free thinking. Just saying. Because the raven is one of the smartest birds on the planet. So with that, it's again another tattoo that's been ruined for me. Number 28, butterflies. If you were an 18-year-old girl in 2002, you probably have a butterfly tattooed on your shoulder. I'm going to correct that a little bit. I'm going to sit there and say, if you were an 18-year-old girl and it was 1997, you probably have a butterfly tattooed on you. I want to sit there and say that. Because most of my female cousins have a butterfly tattoo. I don't have a butterfly tattoo. I don't. A lot of my female friends have a butterfly tattoo. I don't. I never wanted a butterfly tattoo. I want a Black Widow tattoo. I want a spider on me somewhere. Absolutely. But I'm a creepy chick, so. Number 29. The last one I was able to find, but I'm going to add one on there just for you folks, just for sitting through this video for half an hour already. Whew, I warned you it was going to be a long episode last week. But number 29, face tattoos. Why is this a trend? Why? A girl I've known for years, works down to 7-Eleven, has stars tattooed all over her face. Why? I mean, I get it. I get that you're doing your own thing, you're the manager there, you're closing in, I want to say, on your elderly years, and you still look fantastic. Then you want to sit there and throw tattoos of stars on your face. Why? And it's not just girls getting this done either. There's guys out there getting tattoos done on their face. So it's kind of why? Yes, Mike Tyson did it, but have you listened to Mike Tyson? I mean, you're following a guy who sat there and has made a career out of getting shots to the head. I'm just saying, folks. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying here, folks. Okay, and to make this a flat even 30 for tattoo trends that should die. They should just die now. All black tattoos. People out there sitting there getting all their shoulders down to their elbows, just all black. Why? I mean, I would understand, you know, a small band around the wrist. I would understand that. But whole shoulder, front and back, down to the elbow, just all black. Nothing else to it. I thought tattoos were supposed to be imaginative. That's just me. For you to sit there, in my opinion, going to get that done is kind of an insult to your artist and the talent that they have. I'm sorry. I know at least one artist who did it to themselves, and they're a person that likes to change their mind a lot. So for them to sit there and get that much of their forearm just completely blacked out, you kind of can't do anything with that section of your arm now. At all. You're done. That's it. There's nothing that can be done with that. To each their own. You know, I'm not really judging you. I'm actually asking why. So, if you have an answer for it, please let me know down in the comment section below. And as I said, throughout this whole video, you've been seeing the wonderful thing that I've done here with the slideshow constantly revolving on the bottom of our hottest tattooed person of the week, Miss Ruby Rose. Our worst trend of the week, which made the list, and that was portraits. Poor Freddie Mercury. Oh, just look at that face. Look at what they did to him. That's horrible. That's why you don't get a portrait done, especially of somebody who's famous. God forbid you ever meet that famous person and you got that horrible portrait. Yeah, they're never going to want to see you again. Just saying. So stay away from portraits. Stay away. It's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. Oh, I cannot stress it enough. I really can't. And also our tattoo win of the week. It has the watercolored star galaxy going on in the back of some orbs, and it looks really cool, which I really do like the watercolor trend. That is something that is truly beautiful to look at when it's done the right way, and you actually think that there's an actual painting done. So I like it a lot. I really do. I don't know if I'll ever get one done on myself, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Right now I want to finish up my Nightmare sleeve, and then I might move on to a skull sleeve to sit there and tie in with my military tribute. Now, I've been asked before in person with people who have seen that tattoo if I myself was in the military. I was not. Unfortunately, because of asthma when I was younger. Who would have thought, right? I couldn't join the military, so we'll go from there. I had family, whether it was on both sides of my family. My father's side had a lot of people that were actually major military players. It was his father, his father's brother. I think even my grandmother was a military nurse at one point. Her brother, a lot of the family members, and a lot of them are actually in the military before the draft happened. So they wanted to be there. They wanted to be part of that. They didn't wait for the draft to happen. They actually enlisted when they became of age. So that's pretty cool of them. On my mom's side, I had my grandfather who was in the Navy. And then my cousin Dan, most recently, he was Marines. On my dad's side, I forgot my cousin Robert, who was Army. Just recently retired too, so very happy all of my family members have made it home from the military in one piece. I mean, I have a few friends who are in the military still and are going through hell. So for that is a reminder to everybody that freedom is not free. We have people fighting for us. They are loved ones. They are people who are cared for. So when you're bashing them, you're bashing their families. So again, think about it. Enjoy your night, folks. I hope you all had a better Memorial Day than I did. And hopefully I will be getting episode number 5 out to you very soon. I want to give a big shout out again to Sal Rags, who made the logo for this show. You are a beast. I love you to death. You're always welcome to do whatever you want for the show. It's much appreciated. Big shout out also to Ken and Filthy Mouth Gamer over at the Foul Mouths Network. Go check them out on Wednesdays and Saturdays. They have awesome content for you to laugh your ass off at constantly. I would also like to give a shout out to Canadian Basement. He is a gaming channel that is just recently starting Destiny with our friend D Moon, who also has his own gaming channel if you'd like to go check them out. There is also Filthy Mouth Bobbit with the Swamp Ass Podcast. Please go check him out. He's a doll. He is funny, he is sweet, and he is absolutely charming as well. Give him a shout out. Go give him a like and a subscribe. Also, go check out Billy Ricky, our glorious little redneck. He is great. He is fun. He's got some intelligent videos on there for you as well. And he's just starting a gaming channel called Torment Gaming, so please go check them out as well. Alright, folks. You have a good night. I am going to go relax finally for the first time in what feels like a month. And for those of you who have wished my family well, thank you very much for that. And if you sent prayers and good vibes our way, they worked. He's home. He's doing better. My dad and I both thank you very much. And hopefully I'll be seeing you guys next week. Have a good night.